So tonight we're having a really great discussion when it comes to your child's education. Because one thing is apparent, I have two boys, they're 6 and 8. We want to do our best to make sure that as a parent that we put our child in great classrooms that'll elevate their minds to allow them to be truly who they are. And that way we can pat ourselves on the back like, well done, mom, good job, good job. However, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you may just need the simple support to have a really genuine conversation about your insecurities, maybe as a parent, but also to be able to still provide your child with that education that they need. And having that open ear for someone to talk to that will give you the support you need, help you find the services that are best fitting for you and your family. That's why we are sitting here with Navigate STL Schools. I'm so excited. It's an honor to sit with you. We have the executive director. I'm about to pick her brain for us. So tonight I would welcome to you, it is Anastasia Allen. Hello to you.
Hi, how are you today?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for you. I'm pretty sure that you've had so many tireless nights because you have such a genuine heart with what it is that you do. No, thank you for dedicating your time right now to sit here with me on this Zoom, our whole new normalcy, right?
Yes, it's a whole different world than
Oh
where we
my
thought
gosh.
we would be at the beginning of this year.
I
And
know.
I think we're all just making the best of it at this point. So,
For real, for real. With that being said, like, let's dive right into that because you just said something that is very serious. Now, we all, when it comes to the sense of time, like on the calendar and on our watch, I don't know about you, Anastasia, but for me, sometimes it doesn't feel like what I'm seeing on a calendar. Time does not feel like that because we're sitting here in our homes or just everything is different. What is going on with these schools and deadlines? Like, can you just, oh my gosh, like what's going on in the
yeah.
school?
As also resident of year 10 of 2020,
Right.
it has been a very long journey for a lot of schools, and I want to give educators credit for being able to transition on the fly and make the best of the situation to ensure that our kids are still being properly educated. But what that actually comes down to is we've seen at the end of last school year that just sudden abrupt shift where a lot of kids unfortunately got left behind because schools weren't able to adapt on the fly. And then this year we kind of got off to a late start with the adjustments to online learning. And what that did for a lot of parents is say, you know what? I don't want to think about education for a couple of months. Don't talk to me. I don't want to see no books. I don't want to have to participate in the Zoom. But actually, now is the time to really get started because the deadlines or the application, pardon me, for SLPS magnet and choice schools are open. The deadlines or the application processes for a number of charter schools are opening. October 1st is when they started, and they'll be closing down as early as November 22nd. And so we want to make sure that as many people have that information as possible so that you have as many options as possible, because this isn't like a new COVID situation. Normally these deadlines would be earlier in the school year, and a lot of parents miss out because you really do think that once you kind of get your child started, you have a good 2-3 month breather at least
For
before you
real.
start thinking about next school year. And that closes a lot of families out of what some might consider highly preferred seats.
Got you. Got you. Now, what are some of the services like and resources I was reading that you all offer? Because you mentioned something very that just stuck with me. You said that you find the best way to fit your family's needs. How do you do that?
And so I will say this, I don't have kids. I'm in this work because I had parents that advocated very strongly for me, that recognized that when my second grade and first grade teachers were telling them that I was misbehaving in class, it was because I was bored, and they got me gifted and talented tested and kind of readjusted. I was doing fourth and fifth grade work in second grade. And
Yeah.
so they were able to do that for me. And so what I want to do is make sure that every child, especially those in under-resourced situations, have that same access to develop a love of education and a love of being educated. And so at Navigate STL Schools, our goal is to make sure that parents are given the authority and really empowered to be the authority on their child's education. And so what that looks like is sitting down with parents and going through your individual values and saying, what's important to you to have in a school? What do you want your kids to learn? What does that ideal environment look like for you? And then taking a look at the data that we have compiled for you all, because it's all there. It's all on DESE. It's raw numbers. You could really make 37 phone calls and spend 17 hours searching this information by yourself if you wanted to. I know
Yeah.
parents who
Yeah.
started school search in 2018 and still never heard back from the emails and phone calls that they sent. Or you could visit navigatestlschools.org and see it all in one place. And we'll take that data and walk you through it to help you as a parent understand how this can apply to your specific situation. And then put the power back into your hands to say, now that you know what these top 3 schools are that are going to have the majority of what you need and what you want, this is what you can do to follow up and do an interview with this school or schedule a tour so that you can see if this is the right environment for you. And once you do figure out what the right environment is, we know no school is going to be perfect at all, because no person is perfect, but
Right.
helping you to formulate a list of questions and concerns for the school so that they can see your child as an individual and not just whatever their student ID number is, so that they're getting the most from that school in terms of their education.
Got you. And then what about, do you like do like an assessment where it's with the child alone? Like not alone, but you know what I mean? Like,
We're not
you know,
alone.
like, I know, right? That's why I was like, let me clarify that. But
So
more so, yeah, like, do you like screen the child, like where you have like a verbal conversation with them?
So
To
we
see.
do encourage parents when we're going through this process to invite their kids or bring their kids along with them so that they have a say. Because what we found out in our interviews and in our focus groups is kids have a wildly different idea of what a
Of
good
school.
school is
Yeah.
versus what their parents think is a good school. And so I think that that also has a lot to do with the child's success rate in a particular building. If kids aren't happy, if they don't feel like they're being socialized properly, if they don't have access to art and sports or other things that they're interested in, they're not going to do well in that building. And sometimes parents don't actually see all of the things that their kids are interested in, or well, now in COVID, you actually know what they're good at and what they're not good at because you're the one sitting there teaching them and working with them.
Right.
But before that, it was hard for parents to get a grasp. Like, does my kid have this love of writing and English language arts? Is that something that I should be focused on? Are they a numbers whiz? Are they more computer savvy? Like, you can see these things and how they play, but when you're actually watching them learn and they can tell you that this is what I'm interested in and what I want to do more of, I think that it really helps to make the process more holistic.
That is so cool. And this is free.
It's 100% free. Everything on the
Stop
website will
it. Well,
always
actually, keep
be free.
going.
Everything on the website will always be free. Navigator appointments will always be free. There is a way that you can create a parent profile, which just gives you access to exclusive content like question kits and resource kits, and that's still 100% free. And it's just so that we can see how many people are using the site so that we can make sure that we are always generating enough funding so that we can make this resource available to everyone in the city of St. Louis and eventually maybe be able to expand into the surrounding county.
That is so amazing. Oh my gosh. What is it like once the deadline is over? What kind of relationship do you still build with the family after that?
So our goal is to really help parents to become their kids' educational advocates. So enrollment for some schools is year round. So you have that opportunity once those highly preferred seats are full or unable to be enrolled in. But making sure that parents understand if you have a child that's gifted and talented or that is performing above average in certain areas, how do you support them in their education? If you have a child that's preparing to transition to middle school, what are some things that you want to look at, or transition into high school? How do you make sure that if you are getting your child gifted and talented tested, that they're in the best mindset and have the more holistic understanding to be able to pass the test, because technically you can't study for it. If your child has an IEP or some sort of learning enablement, what other resources can you do to support them? And then generally as a parent, when you're looking for ways to supplement education, how do you have these conversations with your child's teachers or with administrators in the building. One thing that I have learned is that a lot of parents and people in general have experienced some sort of hurt, especially in under-resourced areas around education. And so they go into these buildings and they feel powerless, or they feel like they're not smart enough to ask the questions that they want to ask, or they don't understand all the acronyms and
Right.
educational terms that people are throwing around. So really just making parents feel like they can own their child's education again, and that maybe the administrators or the teachers might not know what's best for your particular child 100%. So just being there to support them and push them along the way to make sure that your kid is getting the best results. Because a lot of people will say St. Louis has bad schools or the education system isn't good. What I say is that any school can be a good school building for your child to learn in, as long as you're an involved and active parent.
That is
The
true.
resources are there, the teachers are there, everyone is really aiming for your child to do the best, but sometimes the money isn't there or the time isn't there to give the kid the individual focus. And so being a parent and having a toolkit in your back pocket to hold the teachers and administrators accountable and to ask for those additional resources can just change that trajectory times 10 on where a kid can go.
Oh my goodness, you're changing like major lives. How many lives have you changed? How many families have you helped?
So our website actually launched in April, and since April, we've had upwards of 5,000 visitors. We
Yeah.
are launching our in-person services on October 15th. And so that means we'll be able to actually start sitting down with parents virtually, or for those parents that don't have adequate internet access, at public libraries. Or other public places, to meet them in their communities to help them take advantage of this resource. We're working with a lot of churches and influencers and community organizations to do panels and virtual discussions, because we want all of the families in St. Louis, especially those under-resourced families, to have access to this. Because whether or not people like it, school choice exists in the city of St. Louis. And so just making sure that we're making that more of a parent choice opportunity, where parents are choosing the best decision that's going to make their family be in the right educational position.
Yeah, that is just so, oh my gosh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Now, you have mentioned that the website launched in April. How long has Navigate STL Schools been really impacting the community? How long has it been around?
So Navigate STL Schools was born of a parent organization that started in 2014 called St. Louis City Schools. And that was just a group of parents who were like, I am frustrated. I have sent 75,000 emails. I've called, I've knocked on doors. I cannot find the data or the information that I need to make a decision anywhere. Because as a parent, you probably know, if somebody were to ask you, what school do you send your kids to and why? It's because somebody told you it was good, not because there was any data available for real. It's just like, oh, somebody said that this was a good school, so I looked into it and that's where we went.
Yep.
And so they were like, that's not going to work for us. We want to get down to it. We want to be able to see what sports they provide, if there are additional classes, if they have post-secondary options, if they're teaching different languages. I want to know these things so I can send my kids to the best school. And so they compiled all this data on their own. And then those parents, kind of their kids aged out of it. They moved out of the city, and a group of advocates came in and they were like, hey, we want to take this and expand it. And so that's what happened. And that happened in 2019. So from 2019 until now, and there have been focus groups. We've met with over 500 different families from different socioeconomic and racial backgrounds. We've done focus groups, and we've worked with all local vendors to make sure that this was a St. Louis City specific tool that families could relate to, and that they understood was a resource for them and not just something out there that was going to take advantage of the community. This is all about families. It's all about parents. And we want to make sure that the kids in STL have the opportunity to thrive.
This was like the perfect interview because, you know, STL TV, our motto is Experience St. Louis. And here's the thing, though, Anastasia, you definitely made a very valuable point just a moment ago, because and a lot of people laughed at me when I would have these conversations with them when you start thinking about where your child is going to go after daycare. It may seem like it's not far away, but preschool, it creeps up on you. Next thing you know, it's kindergarten. And all these schools that you're interested in, you have such a small amount of time because it's only open. You want to go during school hours so you can see what it's like. You're starting your school search the moment you kind of have a kid, you know, like you're starting ASAP because time does creep up. time goes fast because they have to get in tours with other parents just like you. So it's something that, especially being a parent and finding the best school for your child, it is something that you start ASAP. But to know that you all, oh my goodness, like I'm definitely going to be reaching to you all after this. Like, granted, I like where my kids are at. It's really great. But because where I'm at is I have one child that's gifted. He's 8. So he's right along with you, third grade, doing fifth, sixth grade work. Like, yes, it's, oh my gosh. Then the other one, he's in first grade, but he's also, because both of them did not test. Like, okay, well, the oldest, he passed the gifted test twice, but we just knew. And the same thing with the youngest. And then we couldn't make it to his next appointment because of COVID. So it's like now it's like everything's opening back up. Everything is just, but to know that you are offering a helping hand to anyone, it can't hurt just to see if what you're doing is maybe you didn't even, like, I know for me, maybe there's something that I didn't know that is available to my children that I didn't even think about. So what you're doing and helping improve so many different lives, because once you educate a child and teach them the way that they need to go, you know the rest. You've done your job as a parent. And navigate STL schools, this is just I've never heard of anything like this.
Yeah, like we're super excited to be doing this work. And I think that when you look at just the transformations that are happening in the city of St. Louis, it is beyond time that we start putting the kids that grew up here first and making sure that they have the best options. I hear so many times, especially just being a young adult, there are people that want to buy houses, that are looking for places to go, and they're always skeptical of, why St. Louis? Why would you go to St. Louis? Are there safe places to go in St. Louis? Are
Right.
there good schools in St. Louis? And there really are. There are some phenomenal schools doing phenomenal things here. And giving them a platform and giving parents a platform to be able to see everything in an unbiased way, I think that that is the perfect opportunity to put kids in the best position possible. And then for you, if you're happy with where your kids are, that is so great. Now, just think if you had another set of questions that could take
That's
us to
what I'm
the next
saying.
level,
Yes,
that's gonna set you up even more,
it's
especially since
unbiased. It's
yeah,
unbiased. And that's the part that I think that, you know, and like you said, every school district, it's all on what you put in, the child and the parent. It's all on that. But sometimes your child has interests that maybe a regular neighborhood school may not offer. So you may have to like take that extra little 5-minute drive or bus ride, whatever. You may have to do that just so that way your child, like you said, is in a school that they just absolutely love going to. Because
mhm,
let's think about the kid's mind. Yes, we don't know what it is that they like you said, some of them may be into numbers. Some of the kids, like my oldest, he just likes to have a good lunch. So I have to think about that. I'm for real. If he has where he can have a cool playground and a good lunch, whether I pack it or there, is he's cool. He'll do whatever he needs to do. But like you said, just having that unbiased set of ears to help, I think it's just amazing, you know. So you were mentioning that schools, some of them have ongoing deadlines, so it's kind of open enrollment.
mhm.
You mentioned something about I know St. Louis Public Schools, you said that they'll be closing out kind of like November. So
November
that's
22nd.
got you. And you were mentioning that that's coming up, as well as your in-person, you know, more detailed meetings with families October 15th.
15th. And I think that that's really cool too. We have a navigator that's focusing specifically on bilingual families because we know that that's a population, especially Spanish speaking families, that's underserved in the St. Louis community. We have a navigator that's focused specifically on special education and working with families with IEP. She has a special needs son, and she's been advocating and navigating through this system for 17 years. And so just bringing that wealth of experience along with the rest of the team to the plate, I think is really going to change the game. Just understanding the needs that are out there for a lot of families. And I think that one of the other things that we really want families to kind of see is that you're not alone. Like, you are not stupid or somehow lacking as a parent because you didn't know that these things were out there or that these were questions that you can ask. We want to sit down with families and have a conversation completely on your level, in your language, to help you get the most out of this system as possible. And that's 100% our goal. And that's why we've selected the navigators that we've selected. That's why we have built the website the way that we've built it. It can be accessed on a mobile phone even more easily than it can be on a computer, to
That's
make sure
funny.
that families can just take advantage of this resource. And it's not about how much money you have, how much education you have, how many advanced degrees you have, what your job is. Your child deserves a quality education, and we want to help you ensure that they get it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, you definitely will be hearing from me. So, how can everyone reach out to you or just navigate STL schools in general so that way we can all get set up with our meeting?
Yeah, connect at navigatestlschools.org. Visit our website, navigatestlschools.org. Hit us up on any social media at Navigate STL Schools, or Navigate STL, Navigate STL Schools, or Navigate STL. And then our phone number is 314-408-2468. And somebody will be available to call you back, or just schedule an appointment and sit down with you and talk. And we're really excited about this. We're really excited about the number of parents that we're able to see and talk to. And I'm just so excited to just really actually get a chance to work with people through this product, because every person that I've sat down with, their face lights up like yours. So that's amazing to me.
Because it's so hard. Like this is, as a parent, I was having a conversation with another mom earlier. Like, you want the best for your child, and just to know, and the one thing you do not want to fall short on is their education, and just to know that you have a helping hand without somebody trying to persuade you to send their child there because you went there, or such and such, as a teacher there, but you just don't want your child to go there because you know that it's not a good fit for your child.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank you. Thank you for sharing all this information, because I know your phone lines are about to start ringing.
Oh, we're excited. We're here to help.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So again, navigate stlschools.org.
Mm-hmm.
Find Navigate STL Schools on all social media platforms. You even on Instagram?
We're on Instagram, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're even on Instagram, as well as the phone number that I don't remember. I just know it starts with 314.
314-408-2468.
I remember that. That was my elementary number, 68 at the end. Anastasia, thank you so much for hopping on Close Up TV, helping parents to elevate their child's education. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take care. Talk to you soon, okay?
You too. Bye.
Bye.